Episode 3, Solo in Seattle. I received a text message from a friend that I've known for more than 20 years. And she's agreed to allow me to share this with my podcast. She's looking for my advice, and she's looking for my feedback. So I'm going to read through her questions and answer them and provide perspective. Dear Solo in Seattle, I finalized my divorce almost a year and a half ago. I've taken lots of steps to improve my health, my wealth, and my happiness. I lost a significant amount of weight. I started a new job giving me a 40% increase in my salary. I bought a new home that I've made my sanctuary, and my child is thriving in their environment. I feel really good with where I put my focus, but I always get the question, when are you going to get back out there? From friends, coworkers, my hairstylist, you get the point. I have not dated at all since my divorce. Even with all of my progress, I cringe at the thought of dating, or even worse, the thought of another person needing time, emotions, or energy from me. However, I see so many other people that have divorced and wasted no time jumping on apps or going out with other singles. I see you out there going out with friends, and I aspire to have your level of confidence. What advice do you have for those of us that aren't as confident and are still trying to figure out if we're open to dating? I feel you. And I'm actually right there with you. So, let's go piece by piece through this subject matter. So, you divorced almost a year and a half ago. And you've taken this time to use to better yourself, to level up, if we will. You've taken this time to really take a deep dive and understand where you're at in life. Not where your spouse put you at. Not where you stayed. Not where he or she wanted you to be. This is your turn. This is your life. And part of you being in your life completely alone is you call the shots. Because before, every decision most likely depended on the opinion of someone else. So, for you to have taken almost a year and a half away and rebuild yourself, I mean, you improved your health, your wealth, and happiness. No one can ever take that from you. You did that. I also improved my health, my wealth, and my happiness. I was only able to do those things because I removed a certain factor out of the equation, because I chose myself. And as hard as that is to remind yourself, a year and a half of choosing you will only be able to process more growth. And I know that we get stuck in the rigmarole of timelines, expectations, what ifs, but none of that matters. What matters is you took the time to choose yourself. And being able to make something your sanctuary. A friend and I were also talking about this the other day. What makes a house a home? So think about your new home. You called it a sanctuary. That means you have peace. That means when you walk in your front door, you are not agitated or irritated or, like me, stayed away. I hated coming home. I hated being in my home with the situation I was in. I literally would get off of work and go somewhere else almost the whole evening after I obviously, handled my business and was able to take care of home, essentially. All of that to say, what made your house your sanctuary? Think about it. What makes a house a sanctuary? Is it the calmness? Is it the quietness? Is it the aloneness? Is the time that you get with your child uninterrupted? You're not pulled in a million directions. Everything that's in your home, you chose. Handpicked. You did that. Remember that. Now let's move on to your child is thriving in their environment. This part, I felt it to my core. Because probably for the past 4 years, my child has not been thriving. He started high school in quarantine. He dropped out of soccer. He lost all interest in everything, and he stayed in his room. And it was heartbreaking to watch him go from this super social, happy-go-lucky, fun kid to essentially a shell. And him and I were laying in my bed yesterday just talking because we now have that. We have just the two of us, uninterrupted. There's no push or pull. There's no sharing. There's no deciding who gets attention first. And my son is thriving as well. He has the drive of me when I first started one of my businesses. He is happy. He sings. He dances. And those of you who have had the opportunity to know my son as he has traveled through life knows that kid is always singing and dancing. That all stopped over the last decade. And it wasn't until we were laying and having a conversation about the change that occurred recently that we realized that even though we were a unit, we were not. Everybody had their own role. Everyone fit in to that role in their own way. We were together, but we were separate. So, when I see that you also write that your child is thriving, I can only assume that you too were pushed. You were pulled. You were made to bend. As a mother, as a single mother, as a wife, as someone who shared their child with someone else that was not their biological father, you had to make choices. I had to make choices. I had to fill in gaps, if you will. And I thought that what I was doing was important. I thought that what I was doing was influential. I thought what I was doing was important. But my child was not thriving in that environment. My child thrives in a duo environment, him and myself, because he knows that there is nothing but unwavering support. And I too feel really good where you have put your focus. And it is super annoying when you do get questions about when are you going to get back out there. Back out where? Where is there exactly? Because I don't know about you guys, but the out there that I tried twice, once married, once not, get someone else to do it. I'm with you on this one. Yeah, I mean, I am not on a dating app. I actually tried it 10 years ago, met the person that I spent the past almost decade with based on a dating app, and had some trauma around a dating app recently, not with myself, but with someone else, that really turned me off to the experience because they gave me a very organic picture of what it would be like meeting men on a dating app, or women if you're in a same-sex relationship, or male, whatever your choice is, that someone can live double lives, and that's scary. And then I have a host of girlfriends that are on the dating apps, and it's not worthwhile. So I too parallel you with cringing at the thought of dating. Girl, I cringe at another person needing my time, my emotions, or my energy, because I literally feel like the life was sucked out of me for a decade. I feel like I was a shell of a person. So I get it. It resonated with me. When I read your sentence, I cringe at the thought of dating. Or even worse, the thought of another person needing time, emotions, or energy from me. I felt that to my core. But the logical brain of myself says, not everyone is who you chose in the past. And you taking a year and a half off of essentially no contact, right? Of saying, no thank you. And not spiraling, not engaging in, not spending time with, or wasting time with, or filling time with nonsensical people. People who are not on your level. People who are not where you're at. You give pause. And coming out of a divorce and entering into life now at 40, you have a whole different vantage point of like, wait a minute. I'm here. Where are you? Okay. It's like this whole process of elimination, even before the person says hello. No more building a bear. No more, oh, that's not a red flag, it's pinkish. No. And yes, you have also seen many other people that have divorced, and you have also seen people waste no time jumping on apps or going out with other singles. But those people may not be where you're at mentally, right? And so we definitely do not want to compare and contrast, because you took a year and a half to do the work to figure out what you needed. And that was to be completely alone, and to be comfortable being completely alone, and also buying back your time that you lost with your child, because that happens. I know these last several months, the one-on-one that I have gotten back, the routine that I have gotten back with my child is undefeated. And although I didn't realize that certain things may have taken a back seat during, I now see that. And so I give you kudos for stepping aside for a year and a half and understanding that is exactly what you needed to restart interest. Because you're getting there. Because if you weren't, then you wouldn't have the question of, how can I? And going out with people is a lot of fun. And it's a lot of commitment too, right? I do have a benefit of being part of an influencer circle where I'm able to join in on events and be social. One part of that is to drown out the noise in my head. And another part is because I am lonely. And I do need that fulfillment. My problem is that I've replaced the notion of finding love with a partner with my friends. Because the connection that I have with my circle of friends meets the connection that I ever had with being in a relationship with someone. And that's dangerous. That is very dangerous. So yes, you do see me out there going out with friends. And yes, I do have confidence. But I also have negative thought process. I also question, do I really want to be here? And I also worry about life balance. So the advice that I give to you and to other people that may not be as confident or forward-facing on socials as I am, to figure out if you're even open to dating, is ask yourself, is it worth it? And when I say, is dating worth it? I'm asking you, is the time that it's going to take for you to get ready, get dressed, be productive, and engaged worth it? Do you want to actively participate in meeting someone else? And I'm not talking about making a checklist of the pros and cons, the write-offs, the what-ifs. I'm talking about truly being intentional. Being able to identify that you are open to sharing yourself, sharing your life, sharing your time. Right now, I personally am not. Right now, the thought of those things that you mentioned are not fun to me. I honestly am not there with wanting to share space with someone else. I am definitely not there to ask another person about their needs, their emotions, or even their energy. Like, if their energy is off, like within the first 5 seconds, I'm walking off. Like, I don't owe you anything. So you have to figure out what is going to be fulfilling and meaningful and enriching. Because dating could be fun, but it also might not be worth the time and effort. But always make sure the takeaway that it must align with your values and your priorities. So to answer your question, does dating align with your value system and the priorities of where you are in life? And if they do, then go for it. And I cannot wait to start a text chain with you after you hear this podcast. Thank you guys for listening.